Secor Meyer.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Olivet City Council meeting. Can we please have roll call?
Mayor Clark,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Weil. Here. Councilmember Lewis,
Here.
Councilmember Pashan Hellman,
Here.
Councilmember Solomonov.
Here.
Okay.
All right, so the very first thing that you as the Olivet Parks Foundation need to do on the agenda is to assign your officers. And so the bylaws say that the mayor and the mayor pro tem fill the roles of chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. The assistant secretary is the current city clerk, which is Jennifer Conrad, and the assistant treasurer is the finance director, who is Darren Mann. So if the foundation board is comfortable with that, you can make a motion to approve the slate as presented.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the slate as presented.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Then the motion carries. All right, the next order of business for the foundation is naming the executive director, who is the city manager for Olivet per the bylaws. So that is me. If you would like to make a motion to fill that role for the next year.
I'd like to make the motion to assign Jennifer Yackley as executive director.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Your next item of business is your financial report presented to you by Mr. Mann.
Good evening, Chairman and members. We have a short annual report for the year ended June 30th, which is the same fiscal year as the city. $65,000, 400 were received for the year. One large donation at 65,000 in November, followed by a couple more. One in December and one in June for that total of 65,400. So I see there's no budget there for on either side, but the revenue sits there, zero balance to begin, and now we end it with the same amount of collections we have for the year.
Is this money invested anywhere? Is it just kind of sitting in an account that doesn't earn any interest?
2.2%.
Okay.
So.
Do we have any questions? Council members? Okay,
Thank you.
No action necessary, just a report.
thank you very much, Mr. Mann.
Okay, the next is a staff report from the Parks and Recreation Director, Beverly Tucker Knight. I did, and I'm going to put it up there for you. Shots. Yeah. This one. Oh, in the computer.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, Beverly Tucker Knight, Parks and Recreation Director. We're going to attempt technology. Let's see if it works. Oh, it's not in yet. Oh, I might have to turn this on. Hang on. Look at that. Okay. So this evening, this is our really kind of our first official meeting because it was established very recently. And with the advent of receiving donations this year, I felt it was appropriate that we developed a logo because we had to send thank you cards. So we have some logo options for you first, and then we do have some funding requests of some needs that have arisen since we received the donation that I'd like to review with you. So first, I'll take you through the logo options. So in creating a logo, I wanted it to fit within the city's brand guidelines, but also be slightly separate because it is a separate entity, it is a nonprofit, and it's not, the funds are separate from the city government. So I wanted it to be a kind of a, I guess, a cousin rather than a child. So I have three logo options for you, and I have a preferred one. So I'll show you at the end my preferred one. So we have, I tried to do very simple, clean lines that kind of reflected our parks and our philosophy. So those are the three options. I call them A, B, and C. And then I have a sample of C being used. So these are some thank you cards we used this year for donations we received. And this is, so that's my preferred logo, is the one with the yellow leaf. But these were used for people that gave us donations this year. So I'll go back. Whoops, trying to go backwards. There you go. So I would love to get your insights. And I don't know the protocol. I don't know if you vote on it now or if you wait till the end of my presentation. So it's really up to you, your choice, what you'd like to do, or if you'd like to ask any questions.
You guys want to vote on this now?
I guess I have a question. So when I'm looking at the logos, the one that you prefer, on the far right, I find it a little hard to read the comparison of the colors between Olivet Parks Foundation and the leaf. But I like the oak leaf because of all the different ways that it connects,
Yeah.
especially with Five Oaks.
Correct.
I'm wondering about the logo that has the O, about instead of putting like a coneflower in the center, about putting that leaf in the center.
Yeah, we could consider that for sure. Let me go over to where it's being used. Does it play a little better when it's in use here, or is it still difficult to read?
I actually like the third one that you like also. I would recommend that you fill in the leaf and make it a solid color. And then lay the green letters over the top of it, but make it a solid, amber color, rather than just making it the outline of a leaf. Make it a
Okay.
one solid leaf, one
Yeah.
color.
I can come back with some different iterations of number 3 for you to see. That's not a problem at all. And I can do 3 more versions of that one doctored up to see if I can make it stand out and pop a little more.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I like the two.
Yeah. Yep, Beverly, just if I can jump in too, I think, yeah, I agree with the third one and just putting a white overlay behind the letters.
Yeah,
I think that's as
Yeah.
simple as probably need to be, but
right. And I could put a shadowing behind it to make it jump
Yeah.
up a bit too. There's some techniques I can use.
yeah.
Yeah, I did these in Canva, so I can just play around in there and then I can bring them back to you. I don't know the protocols for that. It could maybe be at a work session, maybe.
Because I think that it's the lines that are distracting. So if you fill it in a little bit, that would look nice.
Mhm.
But I would be curious to see what Councilmember Sean Hellman said, to see what the oak leaf look
Mhm.
like in the O.
Yeah, we can do that as well. So I'll bring some more iterations back for you. We had a staff favorite that I'm not showing you because it was very complex, but it was really cool, but it would have been really hard to, if we envisioned putting on a hat or a shirt or something like down the road, it might be really difficult, but it had intertwining branches in an O that were really cool, but too busy.
We'll save it for something else.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, great. So I will bring back some more iterations for you. Terrific. All right, so moving into some funding requests. So it is a little strange to be requesting money through our foundation. We've never done it before, but we have had some things that have arisen this year that I do think qualify for an ask. And the first one has to do with our soccer program, which, as you know, is growing back up to its historic levels. We will have the most kids we've had playing this year. And exacerbating by that is we are not going to be using the 5th grade center this year because of the construction that's going on at the 5th grade center. They don't feel there's adequate parking for our program. So while the fields are open, we will not be using them. So that is forcing us to bring all of our teams back into just Stacy and Warson for games. We're still doing practices at some of the elementary schools. So in setting that up, the staff have done a really good job of reconfiguring the fields and using them as best we can with multi-purpose uses. But we are short goals, and our existing goals are very old and are in disrepair. And each year we kind of put them back together. We weld some of them, we piecemeal them, but with the increased use this time, it really is something that we have to address. So what we are looking at right now is at Stacy Park, there will be 7 fields, and you can see it's really, I apologize, it's hard to see these with the different sizes, and I'll show you detail about what we'd like to do with the goals. At Warson Park, we have 1 regulation field that can be sliced up into 4 micro games for the youngest kids, or 2 side-by-side fields for the mid-range, and then for the older kids, we can do 1 field there. So we do not have the goals for Warson Park to do that currently in our possession. So what we're looking at is at Stacy, we need to buy 1 8-foot by 24-foot goal. And this time around, we see the wisdom of purchasing goals that have wheels attached to them. For those of you that have coached soccer, I know you know the difficulty we have with mowing. The nets sometimes get mowed by the mowers. They try to push them when they're anchored in the ground. So this allows us to move them much more easily. It will reduce a lot of that damage that happens with the mowers. They're also really safe, and they also meet the standards for high school play. So we can, as we expand adult sports, we can use this goal. Then we have, come on. It doesn't. I apologize. Let's see. Jennifer, can you advance it 1 for me? Thank you. So then for the grades 1 and 2 and for kindergarten, we are recommending using the 3-inch classic goal. This is a rounded goal, so these are safer. So if kids do come in contact with them, there's less severe injuries. They're also weighted better, so they're less likely to tip. And then we can buy wheels to attach to them. And what we're looking at here would be 8 sets of goals for $26,000. And that breaks down to 3 sets of the 1st and 2nd grade goals with the wheels, 4 sets of the kindergarten size, and then 1 for the 3 to 5 and also for adults at Stacy. And then that one, the wheels are included. This is through BSN Sports. We've received a quote on this, and they are a GSA pricing, which means that they have a government contract. So we are getting the most competitive pricing from them with this. So that is a very large number, but it is our biggest youth program. It does generate revenue. And over time, I definitely think that we will see this money come back to us in the expenditures. The second expenditure we're looking at is a need for Five Oaks. And the fitness program at Five Oaks is definitely increasing its revenue. What we've heard from our personal trainers and our fitness instructors is that an in-body scan machine would be something that would really elevate our services and could really generate increased revenue in those areas. So this is a scanner. If you're unfamiliar, this is a scanner that you step on, and there are 2 foot pads you can see there. I use this actually at my gym. So you stand on it and then you grasp the handles here, and it gives you within 30 seconds a rating that shows you your body composition. It's phenomenal. And then let's see if I can advance it. There, oh, it worked. And then it actually prints out a standard sheet, and you get it each time. You use your phone number when you put it in, and it will track it for you so you can track your progress, and it'll show you your muscle mass, how you've gained or lost, and then some targets for you. It's an incredible tool for personal trainers. This replaces the old calibration that they used to do that people are very uncomfortable having done, and it takes a really long time. This is much less invasive and more private for people. So this is something that we feel would really elevate our experience at Five Oaks and kind of set us aside from some of the other personal training programs in other community centers that are similar. And the price for this is roughly $8,000. We're waiting for the final quote from this, and this does include a printer so that you keep the printer right next to it. It's separate from the city system. We don't want to Bluetooth it over to a public printer. You want to keep people's privacy and have them feel secure with their personal medical records like that. So those are the two requests that we're making this year, and I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have and to go into greater detail.
On the scanning machine, do you have to are you barefoot on that or
You
you
are,
sock?
yes, you take off your shoes and socks, yes.
Okay. So it's just basically like a glorified BMI kind of machine or?
It is, it is a really complex one. This is an entry level one. They have much more expensive ones, but we don't feel that's appropriate for our center. But they are incredible tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
And based on what you've seen, is this pretty average for one of these?
Yes, it is. And this InBody is one of the better ones. There's lots of different ones, and there's ones you'll see on Amazon that are handheld, but they don't have the accuracy and they aren't unable to track the individual people. So this one, the data is secure inside, and by using your cell phone, it makes it easier for us to shield people's data and make sure that we're not sharing, personal information with
Understood.
anybody else. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With the machine, do you have to have someone that's like trained in it and shows people how to use it? Or is it self-explanatory, explanatory for people?
The first time you use it, it is helpful if someone helps you. We envision that the first time someone uses it, they're with their personal trainer. We don't want this to be something that sits out that anybody can come and stand on.
Mhm.
It really needs to be, part of that fitness journey and used with an instructor or a trainer. Then once you're in the program, if someone is working on a program, but they're working solo, but we already have their information, then we can set up protocols around that. So we've already had some careful discussion about where it would be placed, how it would be protected, and how it would be used.
So if you don't utilize your trainers, but you go up there and work out, you would not be entitled to use it?
At this time, we don't have a plan for that, but that doesn't mean in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say that without us having it
Right.
and knowing how it's going to be used. Because the last thing we want to do is for it to get broken or for someone to use it that doesn't understand the ratings and how to use it and how to then calculate what they're doing with their workouts. So having that personal trainer guide you through the first time and to look at the recommendations it's making, because it will tell you in there maybe some targets for muscle mass or maybe something that you're working on. So it's very good to have that with someone who's educated and trained.
One question about it,
Okay.
and then I'm done. And this question might be too early or too late.
Sure.
But when you come before us to talk about, here are these couple of ideas of how to spend the money.
Right.
How do you decide which should go for like a capital improvements piece through
Right.
through the Parks Commission and
Right.
which should come through the foundation?
Right. That is a very good question. And we talked about that as a staff because again, it's the first time we're doing this. The soccer goals came up when we were starting to do our capital project, but in looking at weighing infrastructure in the parks, that is something that we really need to do through the capital project. The goals could be a capital expense, but they didn't come up. They just didn't rank as highly then because we also thought we had the fifth grade center when we were going through that. So not having access to that really brought this to a crisis situation when it wasn't before when we were doing our budgeting. Because we started the budget process, as you know, in March, and it wasn't an urgency. So the urgency has really developed in the last couple of months, really trying to figure this out.
Will we be saving money by not using the fifth grade center?
We will save money. We won't be paying the rent for it. So
Okay.
yes, that is a savings.
Okay.
Yeah, if
Thank-
it works well and the kid, and we're able to do the games and not have the parking crunch issues, then, you
Well,
know,
that's my point is if we're paying, if we own these goals, but
Mhm.
and we're saving the money from renting,
right.
then it could be a win-win for us.
It could be a win-win with the caveat that weather with their all-purpose field is really nice. We're already, it does give us a little better odds for some of the games, but fingers crossed that won't be an issue this year.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of things on the goals. I've seen it even at Maryville University that have flat soccer goals. So they're very easy to move, they're very mobile. They could even be kept, say, under a cover potentially during the week, or I guess they're used for practices. So, but they're just much smaller footprint, but they're still pretty stable.
Wait,
Um,
I'm sorry, I missed the brand you said.
I don't know about the brand, but they're flat soccer goals. They're still metal with the nets, but they're not, they don't have like, they're not, 3D with the back part of the goal. They
Oh,
just
okay, so
have
it's
a-
just an arch? It's just an arch?
Well, it's more of a rectangle. It's the shape of a normal goal. It just doesn't have the whole back part of it.
Okay. If you could send that to us,
Yeah,
we can absolutely look into those for sure.
okay, yeah, I bet they'll be a little bit cheaper and they just, yeah, a little bit more mobile. And the second piece is for that machine, if something were to happen to that machine, what does the maintenance look like?
Excellent question. We know it's under warranty for 2 years. As far as repairs that need to be done, I'm not sure. I do know that the gym I'm in, the one that I use, is about 4 years old and they have not had issues. We did ask some questions about that. And I know Hannah on our staff is a certified personal trainer. This is a machine she's used at other places. So she felt it was reliable, but as far as what the ongoing maintenance issues are, I don't have that information.
Okay. I am a little concerned with the soccer games too, just all being kind of having back to that first topic, but that's the most games we'll ever have, we would have ever had at Stacy, right? With all those new fields.
Yeah, we've had that field configuration in the past, but there will be a lot more games. Yes. So we will be starting earlier, which we know might not be very popular, and going later, which again, we know won't be very popular.
Mhm.
But I apologize. My apologies.
Yeah. Is there, I think just having some kind of a parking plan would be probably a good idea. So, because we
Yeah.
already had, I know we're staggering games this year, which is gonna
Yes.
help, but just for a plan for overflow parking. would be
Yes,
great.
absolutely. Yeah, that is something we're very concerned about. We have looked at Miriam School and considering putting some of the micro games over there because there is a path between Miriam and Warson Parks but we don't, it hasn't gone any further than just identifying that that is a place we could contact. So that is something the staff are going to pursue.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I had a question with the machine. What percentage of members or, folks who use Five Oaks do personal training? Like how often is personal training happening?
That is an excellent question. I do not have that data in front of me. I do know that it has grown considerably. I have all of the write-up that Hannah gave me with her very impassioned plea, but the stats of how many personal training we have is not on this. We could definitely I can bring it back to you.
Yeah, my concern is, a little bit of sticker shock with both of the items, and with an awareness that's getting, to about half of
Right.
what the balance
Yes.
is in the
Yeah.
foundation, and, recognizing this is a new thing and we want to be building it, wanting to be responsible with what we have and not, I feel a little hesitant to start with the balance that we have and the first year take half of it away.
Right.
And so especially with the machine, I guess the question, you know, my hesitancy comes, is this for 5% of the people who use Five Oaks? Or will this be used by 30% of the people who come to Five Oaks? And trying to get a sense of value, or if it's something like, let's focus on growing our personal training program more so that there's more revenue on that side that might then be able to help support
Right.
the expense of a machine
Mhm.
like this.
Right. And it would be used by the classes as well as the trainers. So all of the fitness classes we do, they will also have access to it. Yes.
Okay.
But that's an excellent point.
But
And I think that, you know, the financial piece, I think is probably for us as a council, it's a broader question. Recognizing that, again, the foundation is new, and so how it operates is still kind of yet to be determined. And then also looking at, you know, getting a clearer sense perhaps of how we kind of answer those questions that Maxine brought up about what funds qualify for being used by the foundation that wouldn't otherwise be a capital improvement request, or, you know, some other thing. And then this is just kind of in carrying that thought further, you know, with an awareness also as a council, if there are ways that we can help support growing the foundation, and soliciting additional donations at events perhaps, or finding ways that we as a council can help support, or we as the board, I should say, because in this capacity, we're acting as the board, can help support growing the foundation so that it can really be that asset to help assist the parks. So lots of ponderances, perhaps less answers in that. But those are just some of the things I'm thinking about.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Well, I guess, and what's the lead time for the goals in terms of how soon would we need to, you know, if, just
They-
to make sure we meet the season?
Yeah, my assumption is it would take a few weeks for them to come because the shipping is by freight
And the season starts,
in August.
okay, so that's a little more time sensitive,
Mhm.
especially with the fifth grade center not being used. I understand the machine I could get behind or not behind, you know, the number would be helpful, but the goals is something that I think is used, and honestly, as someone whose kid goes to Stacy all the time and wants to play soccer, having goals there for practice, having goals there for kids, going to bring more people to the parks too, which is all about what we're trying to do. So I'm generally in favor of that, and I see, to your point, it's a revenue growth potentially if we're able to not use the fifth grade center in the future too. So I'd be in favor of approving those, you know, and I don't know if we're voting on those, I guess, but I assume so.
Yeah, so staff would request that the board make a decision on the requested purchases. So it sounds like maybe there's a desire to vote on each one individually, or if the council or the board would like to vote on them together.
Well, in my opinion, I mean, Kate brought up a good point. If we have a very small amount of people doing the training, you know, we spend $8,000 on this piece of equipment. You don't have a lot of people doing it in the first place. I'd like to see some more numbers of just how many people are doing the training, you know,
But-
justify that.
Beverly, would you say, sorry to interrupt. You guys are very small on my iPad, so I can't see who's talking. But Beverly, would you say this machine, would you call that kind of a baseline for personal training?
Yes, it's something that professional personal training places have as a rec center. It's the first thing when people come in for training, they ask if we have it. So I think it would generate a lot of interest, and I think it would increase the people that come for training. Each one of our trainers is familiar with them. I know when you go to any other health club that's not a rec center, they have them. So it's sort of a standard piece of equipment, but we do not have one.
Could this be a selling point to get more people to do personal training?
I believe it could be, yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll vote on.
Will you put your mic on?
Yes, we can go ahead and if you guys would like, we'll go ahead and vote on it.
You have to say if you want to vote together.
Let's vote together.
Can
Okay.
I,
Go ahead, please.
I would suggest we vote individually only because it sounds like people want to hear more information on the numbers. Is it okay to park this? Do we have to vote at one of these meetings? We can't vote at city council, can we?
No, because you are acting as the foundation.
Yeah,
You are not
So,
acting as the city
but if
council.
we needed to get more information and then come in at, 15 minutes
Yeah.
early at a future one, we could vote.
Yeah, we could have,
Yeah.
we
You
could
can-
schedule another foundation
Yeah,
meeting.
you can schedule
Yeah.
another foundation.
So I would,
Yeah.
I think I'd suggest separating them, just if you have concerns.
Well, because we're also going to be asked about the logo again, so we'll
Yeah.
be coming back.
So in order
Yeah.
to keep everybody on track and moving forward, if you're interested in voting on them separately, please make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to vote on these items separately.
No, make a motion to purchase one of the items that you would like.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to vote on one of the items I'd like to, we would like to purchase, and I would say the soccer goals. If everybody's on board with that.
Second,
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to purchase the soccer goals as presented. Any questions? All
I've-
those in favor, oh,
I think we should at least look at some of the other options on the goals. They're gonna be quite a bit less, especially for the younger kids who may not need a full goal like that. It could be a big difference in price. Sorry to throw a wrench in this.
did you guys look at different goals?
We did, but we did not look at the ones that Mike sent. Mike sent training goals. So I just have to vet them. I have to make sure that they're designed for game situations and being in a park.
Yeah, I understand. My concern is, again, just a lot of time in soccer field, training goals are more likely to break down is my concern. Then my ask is if we're gonna hold, then because again, I'm worried about the timing, getting these. So we'd need to meet again very soon then, I think, to make sure that we
Yeah,
meet
and
the
to be
parks needs.
clear, the goals that we're purchasing that we've requested are not for the micro kids. These are for kindergarten and up, where they are stationary goals. The little kids use a much lighter, smaller goal.
And they nestle, it looks like. They store one inside the other.
Well, that picture showed different size goals.
Oh, that's not how they store?
Not necessarily. We
Yeah,
won't know until we
yeah.
get them.
Goals,
Yeah,
yeah,
goals are,
yeah.
they are a hassle. They
Okay.
really are. Yeah.
And are they stored indoors during the winter?
They are
when they're
not.
being
We
used?
store them outside.
They'll remove the nuts often, but
Yeah, we take the nets we store inside in dry bags, but the goals stay out in all weather.
Are they plastic, metal?
They're metal.
Metal. Okay.
okay, so you have a motion that's been seconded on the floor to purchase the soccer goals. And so unless there's any further discussion, I'm gonna ask all those in favor to say aye
Aye.
and any opposed to say nay. Okay, so it sounds to me like that passed 5-0. Is there a desire to purchase the body scanner, or is there a desire to table that to the next Parks Foundation meeting?
I'd like to table it.
Okay, so there's a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Is all in favor, say aye to table that purchase?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Okay, so that passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we do a
So the last,
foundation, can we do a foundation meeting prior to a workshop, or they only can be prior to its
you
council
can
meetings?
do a foundation meeting whenever
Okay.
you would like. So then the next item on your agenda is the approval of the May 28th, 2024 foundation minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Establishing the next meeting, would you like it to be before a council meeting or before a work session?
That's fine.
That
I would-
works.
Either
Next-
one
I would
is
say
fine.
next in 2 weeks, we can probably have it. That's our next session, right?
Your next, we can probably do it. Let me confer with Miss Tucker Knight,
Okay.
because she's got things that she needs to bring back to you, and there's no sense scheduling a meeting if she can't get
Right.
done what you need done. So we will have another meeting. Let's say this, we'll have one before the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay. And unless there's any other business before the foundation, we can adjourn and go into the council meeting.
So the only thing that I would say before that is, since we are going to be gathering again, I don't know that we will have time in that meeting to look at the sense of the scope of purpose and kind of the mission and vision of the foundation, so that we have a clearer sense of how monies are spent in the foundation as opposed to the capital improvements and other funding sources. But if it's possible to maybe have some information that helps provide a little bit of guidelines or some distinguishing factors there, I think that would be helpful, since we are going to be getting back together.
Duly,
Well-
duly noted.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so be it. We are adjourned.
Jennifer, is it